And here we are, Midnight Thunder on a Friday night. I'll tell you what, Cowboy, I recognize some of these names, but first, hey, let's talk about real sim racing. Let's talk about the Rewind BS and Back Talk radio show. I tell you what, you can join me, Jimmy North, and Evan Pasoko on Tuesday nights from 9 to 11 p.m. for an hour, a couple of hours actually, of Rewind, looking back at previous broadcasted events, guest interviews, drama, topics too hot to touch. I'll tell you what, we do ramp it up in the BS and Back Talk segment with thoughts and opinions on some of the hot topics in the online racing arena. It's fun, entertaining, no rules, no BS. Rewind BS and Back Talk, 9 p.m. Tuesdays on ETV Motorsports Radio. And I'll tell you what, we've had a couple of these guys from Real Sim Racing. I recognize some of these guys. Bobby Terrell in the house here tonight, Chad Cole, Steve Ritter along to the right, CJ LeVere, who missed his shot in the Nationwide Series, is pretty much going after some wins now on Thursday nights after a really bad night here a couple of weeks ago. But in the house with me tonight is Harrison White. Let's helping me to call the race here at Charlotte Motorspeedway. 75 laps on the board here tonight. And also Eric Croson, he joins us here tonight as well from New York. So kind of a rookie in the house tonight, Harrison. So let's bring him along and teach him how we work over here, huh?
Yeah, excuse me. Tonight here at Charlotte, it's going to be interesting because it seems like they saw the ETV trucks roll up, and a lot of entries here looking to make a statement and put on a good performance here at night here. But Charlotte Motor Speedway, we're running half fuel. The cars are going to be tight. These guys are going to be pushing them to the limit. And, it might be one of those races where we see a lot of chaos because you get 30 cars on the track together all looking for that number one spot. A quick little 8-race shootout of a series here in the Midnight Thunder series, and a lot of guys looking to make a statement.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, let's talk about Charlotte here for just a minute. Concord, North Carolina. I've been there. I've seen this place. Beautiful track. 140,000 seat capacity here. And of course, Speedway Motorsports own this place. Broke ground in about 1959, so it's got a little bit of history here, going all the way back around 1960 or so. It opened up. Bruton Smith and Curtis Turner pretty much designed this place. Asphalt surface, a 1.5 mile track, 4 turns. They're banked at about 24 degrees or so in the turns. Tri-oval at about 5, backstretch, and as Cowboy says, that's just for draining when they wash this place down. But I'll tell you what, 75 laps here tonight. Eric Croson in the house with us. Eric, welcome aboard ETV broadcast of the Midnight Thunder here tonight at Charlotte.
Thanks a lot, JD. I'm excited to be here under the lights of Charlotte. From the looks of practice, these guys are going to be running hard. I can't wait to see it. And with their 50% fuel rule.
Copy that. And I'll tell you what, we spent some time during the pre-race here, just before we went live, talking about what these guys can expect here. With a 50% fuel setting, we're looking for pit offs anywhere from about 20 to 24 laps here tonight. So, with a 50% fuel load, Harrison, I don't know. I'm looking for some pit strategy here tonight.
Yeah, there will definitely be a lot of that. Track position will definitely be at a premium here, which makes things interesting. These guys are starting each run with about 9 gallons of fuel in their cars, which less rear weight makes the cars tighter, makes the cars faster as well. And so I think the pit strategy of choice, especially if there's a lot of cars on the lead lap and maybe we don't have a long run coming up, it's going to be 2 tires. A lot of right side only should be going on this race.
Absolutely. And, again, I'm looking down the roster here as qualifying is underway here at Charlotte. A lot of familiar names here. Steve Ritter sitting on the pole right now with a 29.082. CJ LeVere in third. Bobby Terrell, who he and Stefan Marinak duking it out over there in the Asphalt Assault Series on Thursday nights. And it's going to come down to Terrell and Marinak. CJ LeVere pretty much out of the running here as of about a week ago. John Abbott in the house with a strong run over in actually both series, the Monday Night Series Full Throttle Cup and the Asphalt Assault. And Red McBride in the house. He'll be running that number 2 machine here tonight with the Midnight Thunder. So a lot of familiar names here from the two Premier Series, the Full Throttle Cup on Mondays, and of course that Nationwide Series, Asphalt Assault on Thursday nights right here on ETV.
Yeah, and with a lot of those regular names is mixed in a lot of names that we don't see as much of, and that includes the number 02 right now. He's currently second in the qualifying order. That's Brandon Cretion, who is well known as a really well-rounded racer, but especially good on the short tracks. But clearly, as he sits right now second in qualifying, a lot of speed. Doy Woods is a regular competitor in the Outlaw Truck Series for RSR that runs on Wednesday nights. Had to think for a second there. And Scott Simley doing the same. Mike Shelton has shown himself as a frequent competitor with the Nationwide cars, and Chad Coleman just made the cut, just hopped into this race moments ago, quickly laid down a lap good enough for 8th in qualifying, and that is without any practice. So an interesting mix we've got here.
Absolutely. And big shout out to the driver of that number 30 machine. He's qualifying in right now in 14th of the 29.242. That's my little buddy Dalton England. So a big shout out to Dalton here tonight. Now I had to scroll down to the bottom list, and I had to put my glasses on not once but twice. So I thought that name was Garth Brooks down there at the bottom. But I'm thinking, okay, when are we going to get the concert going here? But actually, it's Gail Brooks down there. He'll be driving that number 76 machine here tonight at Charlotte Motorspeedway. So qualifying is still underway here. Steve Ritter now sits in the top spot with Brandon Crichton, C.J. Levere, Doy Woods, Bobby Terrell, your top 5 here so far in the qualifying run. So I tell you what, this is going to be this is a Friday night kind of a showdown deal here. Only 75 laps, so I'm sure things are going to heat up.
Yeah, I expect to see a lot of early cautions and then a lot of green racing to round this thing out. I think it's going to take a little bit for these guys to get into that rhythm, really get going, but early on it might be a little bit risky. Although I've been wrong before, and I'm going to be wrong again, and hopefully I'm wrong tonight, and we go green from green flag to checker. Never know.
You bet. And I tell you what, real quick, let's run down the points here for you and let you know who's who and who's where with the Midnight Thunder here on Friday night. Chad Coleman, he sits out in front at 116. Bobby Terrell, close second, just 2 behind. And I'll tell you what, looking to give a mirror there, Bobby Terrell, he'll be coming on strong. Jordan Hightower, 113, 3 back from the leaders. Rhett McBride with a strong run this season, only 8 back. And I'll tell you what, these Cowboys, I mean, it's anybody's game here at Charlotte for at least the top 5 here. Doy Woods, he's at 100.16 back of the leaders. Mike Shelton with 17 back. John Higman Jr., he runs both the series over there on the other side, the Asphalt Assault and the Full Throttle Cup. He's 19 back. 27 back in 8th is Alan Cryer, and 9th is Doug Manning with 27 back. He shares that 8th place seat with Alan Cryer, actually. Rounding out your top 10 here with the Midnight Thunder, Jason Pick. He's 30 back behind the leaders, but I understand in this season they still have 5 or 6 more races to go, I believe.
Yeah, just 5 races left in this series. It's a short 8-race season. Actually, Jordan Hightower, the car that it is 3rd in points, not able to be here tonight. That'll shake up the points a little bit. Chad Cole running the show this evening. Not sure if he's racing. He's currently 11th in points. So there's a lot of guys who just picking a handful of races to run, but a really interesting mix there out front. And truly, when it comes to the championship of the series, anyone's game right now. They're all bunched up.
I'll tell you what, let's go down trackside to Cactus Cuties and our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Big thank you to the Cactus Cuties. I'll tell you what, those young ladies ages 11 to 16, beautiful voices, and of course the virtual Thunderbirds for the flyover. And those are real pilots in each one of those aircraft, the virtual Thunderbirds, and good stuff. Let's take them down through the grid here as they get lined up here at the start-finish line behind that pace car up there. Steve Ritter on the pole tonight. He's in the number 16 machine. Outside him in the 02 machine on the front row, that's Brandon Crichton. CJ LeVere, he'll be starting in the second row in that number 4 machine. The 54, that belongs to Doy Woods on the outside in 4th. Starting in 5th, Bobby Terrell. Keep an eye on that number 7 machine tonight on the inside. Outside him, Scott Simley drives to number 68. In 7th position, Mike Shelton. He'll be piloting that number 34 car here tonight. Outside him, Chad Coleman. That's another one to keep an eye out for here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. John Abbott starts in 9th position. He'll be driving that number 10 machine. Outside him is Randall Watkins, J. Randall Watkins. He'll be starting in the number 77 in 10th. Harrison.
Looking at position number 11, we've got Rhett McBride. Alongside of him, the 81 of Stephen Almindo, last night's 3rd place finisher in the Asphalt Assault Series with this very car. Kevin Manning going to roll off 13th. Dalton England in 14th. Tyler Young got into the server right as qualifying began, threw down a lap good enough for 15th. Jeff Eden will be starting 16th. On row number 9, we've got Keith Brooks Jr. starting 17th. Alongside of him, Dennis Mickelson in the number 41. Starting 19th will be the 52 of Sean Casto, and starting 20th, the 00 of Stephen Maddox.
A lot of familiar names here tonight, and I'll tell you what, starting in 30th position is going to be Jeff Nichols in the 05 machine, and starting in the 31st position is Zach Mesner. In the 92, the 32nd position, the 90 of Peter Stubbins. Eric, actually, that's not Eric Crossens. Eric Crossens up here in the booth. So that's your lineup here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, getting ready to get this ball rolling here as the pace car brings him down the backstretch off into turn 3. Steve Ritter, he'll be picking up the green flag, at least the first one here tonight. We'll see if we can't make it the only one here. Remember, fuel load here is 50%, so we're expecting pit stops, green flag pit stops, anywhere from about 20 to 24 laps, we're being told by some of the drivers a little bit earlier prior to the start of this thing. But I'll tell you what, getting them sucked up tight, pace car is going to pull off, go down pit road and park his butt and get ready for a hot night here at Charlotte Speedway as the green flag comes out to 16. Ritter already off with a huge jump over the 02 of Brandon Crichton, just a little bit off the throttle here from the get-go. CJ LeVere still stuck down here on the bottom of the 4 machine. He's going to make that bottom side work as they clear turn 2, heading down the backstretch.
Yeah, still side by side for the 5th position there. We've got the 34 of Michael Shelton alongside the 54 of Doy Woods. And Shelton in that Skull 34 is someone to look out for as we go deeper into this race, is that Skull Bandit has really built a reputation for himself to be really competitive in these races with these nationwide cars. They take a style all of their own compared to the Silverados and the Cup cars, the Gen 6. And looking pretty good, that Skull Bandit machine. Up front right now, Steve Ritter in the number 16, still out front. And I tell you what, JD, he is a guy who has been really just ripping them apart the last couple of weeks in the Full Throttle Cup Series. Got a couple poles of the 1.5 mile speedways, and he's a driver who really knows how to get it done here. So it's not a big surprise at all that he was able to win the pole for this event, currently running up front, but he's getting a lot of pressure from that 02, Brandon Cretion.
right on the bumper. I'll tell you what, coming off of turn 2 there down the backstretch, pretty much single file all the way back as these guys get a few laps in. Come back here at about 11th position. J. Randall Watkins, he gives up a position to the 81. That's Stephen Almindo. Almindo's another one you got to keep an eye out for. A lot of familiar names here at Charlotte Motor Speedway here tonight. But single file all the way back to the back now as these guys start putting the laps in. Take it back to about 20th position. The 23 taking a little souvenir off the wall there, off the front stretch. Got the 00 down on the bottom, off of turn 2, and they're coming down the back stretch.
Yeah, that 23, that's John Klickner, who usually runs in the Outlaw Truck Series here at RSR on Wednesday nights, and he's alongside the 41, that's Dennis Mickelson. I don't think we've really seen much of him at all in the RSR Series, but here he is moving up through the field, or actually lost a couple spots from the start, able to get a position back right there in that Reds Apple Ale Impala. And so these guys sorting it out pretty quickly. There's a couple of guys getting trained in the middle through the field right now as we see the typical comers and goers. But 5 laps into this race, a little more patience than I expected. We've got a big field here, but they're really fanning out and looking to race and keep it green.
About 13th position, so that's number 30 machine being piloted by Dalton England, my little buddy. I'll tell you what, he does an outstanding job of driving these cars too. But he's got them stacked up behind him here. So I tell you what, look in your rearview mirror there, Dalton. They're coming at you hard, buddy. But Kevin Manning back here in the 25 as we go on board with Dalton England here on the split screen. You can see the how Dalton handled his car, but back here about 16th position, 25 car, Kevin Manning. Thought he was almost looking to go somewhere with the rest of the crowd up here, but he's kind of backed off for a little bit, just getting these runs in. 7 laps in the books here, 75 laps on the board here at Charlotte. So lots of racing to go here tonight, and I tell you what, for a Friday night, Midnight Thunder, these guys are just here to have some fun.
Yeah, 75 laps, not a very long race. Is right in front of Kevin Manning. Is the 44 of Tyler Young, just gaining a spot on Sean Casto. Casto in the 52 crosses him over though, and they find themselves side by side once again. A lot of hard racing here in the middle of the pack to start this one. But this 75 laps at the Charlotte Motor Speedway as the 44 lays a bumper to the 52. But the 52 able to carry momentum and pull away a little bit, exiting turn number 2. No major damage to come out of that. A little bit of a dent on the rear of the 52. But 75 laps at Charlotte Motor Speedway, you're looking at about a 35-minute race should we stay green. And so this is a short one, a bit of a shootout, almost like a sprint all-star race without the different segments and the breaks. As actually looking up front, we have a battle for the lead. The 02 looking underneath the 16, but unable to make the pass. Now the 4 is underneath the 02 for second.
And that's going to be C.J. LeVere. And I'll tell you, C.J. LeVere is a big threat at these mile-and-a-half tracks. Didn't quite go as well as he planned here a couple of weeks ago, but found himself on the outside looking in on a possible championship run in the Nationwide Series. But I'll tell you what, you don't want to mess around with that number 4 machine down here, but the 02 certainly feeling the pressure. That's Brandon Crichton up there feeling the pressure from C.J. LeVere. Now, let's go back to the little bump draft here that we saw a moment ago. I'll bring Eric Crossan in here. Is it advisable to bump draft at a mile-and-a-half track, Eric?
It's tough to say. You can get away with it on the straightaways. Give a guy a little push down the track. Definitely, with the horsepower of these cars, they can benefit from the draft at a track like this. But for the most part, you're going to want to lay off a guy in the turn. And in another note, you're going to see guys start to move up the track a little bit, trying to save that right front tire. Even 50% fuel, that's going to be a big factor in this race.
You bet. Coming down the backstretch here, going into turn 3, the 2 on the inside of the 16, doing battle here for about a lap and a half or so. The 2's going to back off of turn 4. Down the front stretch through the trioval. Here comes the 4 on the outside. We got a battle happening up here. The 4 machine, C.J. LeVere, now up on the top side, battling with the 02 on the bottom. C.J. should get some horsepower off the turn. He's tucked right in behind the 16 of Steve Ritter, trying to make something happen up here. I tell you what, this is a 3-way battle up here for the lead. Harrison, number 4 of C.J. LeVere, giving it to the 02 machine on the bottom here, side by side. But Steve Ritter looking in the rear view mirror, thinking, "Holy cow, they're coming at me."
Yeah, the O2 of Cretia made a couple of runs on the 16 of Ritter, unable to complete the pass, so they found themselves running side by side, much like they're doing right now, side by side for the lead. And what happens is when those two cars are running side by side, they're running a little bit slower because they can't get that arc into the corner and carry that speed. And so that brings all the guys right up to them, and that's when you have a situation like this where everyone is all running together. However, that O2 Brandon Cretion looking to possibly clear the 16 of Ritter this time. And the 7 of Bobby Terrell really looking strong, able to gain a few spots from qualifying. And I watched him in practice for a little bit, and I think he was one of the strongest people on long runs out of all the cars I looked at. And so that 7 car may be applying the pressure fairly soon, but Ritter not willing to keep the door open for long, and jumps down there in the second spot. But new leader on the track is a Dollar General car of Brandon Cretion, the O2, and he's pulling away a little bit as these guys are racing pretty hard behind him.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, the number 7 machine, that's hey, you know, there's a lot of these guys. And the contact with the 4 up on the top side. The 4 gets sideways. The caution's coming out for the first time here at Charlotte Motorspeedway. The 4 involved, and we've got quite a few cars involved. The 2 car involved.
Wow, I was just thinking about Chad Coleman was right behind us, and he had one of the most incredible misses. He was just, it was like Moses in the Red Sea split. Oh, but I think he sustained a little bit of front end damage, so I spoke a little bit too soon in that ordeal. But looking as we're about to get a look of this replay of exactly what happened, the 7 car, Bobby Terrell, just lost the nose there. They were side by side for position. Bobby started getting tight. The car washed up. He tried to get a hold of it, but just slides up the track into the 4 of CJ Laver. Once that contact was made, CJ sent up the track, and these walls sometimes just repel you into the opposite direction, a bit like almost rubber, just send you back down into traffic. A lot of cars involved. The 2 of Rhett McBride. I see the 66 is involved. Not sure who that is. Scott Simley. I'm sorry, that was the 68, not the 66. And Chad Coleman with front end damage. The 41 is around. Just a lot of cars involved in this.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you, the 34 Mike Shelton looked like he was going to, set himself up here to go by, but just at the last minute, the 4 bounces off the wall across the track and then sideswipes the 34, doing some right side damage to that machine. And then, after all of that, he gets slammed. I believe that's the 10 machine of John Abbott. Door slams the 34, and the 34, of course, goes for that e-ticket ride over the wall. So a tough night here at Charlotte.
Yeah, and a lot of those cars getting major damage were all vehicles running up front, so that really does change the complexion of the race. A lot of the guys that were battling hard for 14th and 15th able to pick up 5 positions. That moves Dalton England up into the 8th spot. Sean Casto up to 7th. Tyler Young up to position number 9. And so this is one of those situations where it gives some of those guys who are battling really hard in the middle of the pack, maybe didn't get the qualifying run that they could have, and they're going to be finding their way trying to compete with the top 5. Sometimes all you need is a little bit of track position to really show the muscle that you've got.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, you can take a little bit of damage with these 1.5-mile tracks, but you can't take a lot of damage. There is some draft, you do have some draft capabilities, and for that, let's talk to our in-house technical advisor, Eric Cross, and talk about the draft. Is it a big thing here at Charlotte?
The draft is going to be as big here at Charlotte as you would see it like a Daytona or Talladega, simply because the cars have the big horsepower here. They're not on a restrictor plate. And they don't really ever have a chance to reach that aerodynamic limit. You can't full bore this car into the corner. You got to lift a little bit. So, a draft, taking away that wind resistance from the front of the car is always going to help. But, in the end, this ain't going to be a track where you can't step out of line and gain some positions. You're not worried about falling out of that lead pack.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, Brandon Cretion, I keep saying that name wrong. Maybe I should wear my glasses, you think? Brandon Cretion out here in front with Steve Ritter. Bobby Terrell is still hanging tight up here in the front. Just a minor damage to that number 7 machine of his. and then Kevin Manning in the 25 coming off pit road. Of course, we haven't come full circle yet, so we'll see where these guys line up here momentarily. Right now it looks like Cretion, Ritter, Terrell, and Manning, but I don't think that's going to be right. We need to come across the start-finish line to get the telemetry all straightened out. But what a night of racing here with Real Sim Racing. Midnight Thunder, and I'll tell you, we broadcast 2 of its premier series every week on ETV Live. Real Sim Racing League produces some of the best and most competitive racing in iRacing. Join ETV Live crew every Monday and Thursday nights, Full Throttle Cup and Asphalt Assault Series. You can join us for some great racing entertainment at 9:30 on Mondays and Thursdays on Channel 1 and Channel 2 here on ETV Live. Soon to be ETV Motorsports. Let's see, what is it now? We're in a process of doing some rebranding, and it's going to be ETV Entertainment here pretty soon, guys.
Yeah, just looking at what's going on the track, the 7 car is slow, getting distracted here. I thought for a second that they might have given him the blame for the caution if we have a sit-in admin, but I think he was having some kind of wheel or steering issue, had to take care of it real quick as he was driving back through the pack right here. Something I want to take note of, I noted that earlier that 2 tires would be the way to go a lot of the way here to try to protect that track position. With the first caution of the race, Brandon Cretion took 2, everyone around him took 4. And so that's pretty big, because if 2 tires is not the way to go, he's going to be feeling a lot of pressure real quick. A lot of times that'll loosen you up just a little bit. And so sometimes you want that rotation in the car, but sometimes it's a little bit too much. So it'll be interesting to see how his car likes the balance compared to all those who took 4 tires around him.
Well, you know, usually if it's going to be a 2-tire stop, you want to get that done early to have some kind of measure on the performance, what this thing's going to do for you. But with a 75-lap race, you know, I mean, we're already 19 laps into this thing. I guess if you're going to do it, you do it now, see if it's going to work. Definitely have some more pit stops, you know, coming. Pace car's getting ready to pull off. It'll be Cretion picking up the green flag again with Steve Ritter, Sean Costro, Dalton England working himself up in the top 5. Doy Woods in 5th here on the restart, and we're back to racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway once again.
Yeah, Cretion jumps out. Steve Ritter able to hold on to 2nd position. Meanwhile, Bobby Terrell moves up into 3rd with Doy Woods 4th. They are all single file about there, but back here racing 5th on back. A lot of battling at the moment. That's the 52 Sean Casto working underneath Dalton England. Almost contact entering turn number 3. The 91 of Jeff Eden working underneath the 44 of Tyler Young. Young gets pretty high through 3 and tucks back in behind. But mostly single file here. And I tell you right now, Brandon Cretion, 2 tires working out pretty well. But see if those left sides just lack a little bit. Just don't have enough grip to be able to retain that lead. Steve Ritter going to look to take advantage of that as soon as he can.
I'll tell you what, we'll see how long 2 tires last year. 21 laps in the books here tonight. 75 on the board. Let's go back here to Jeff Eden. He's in 7th position, the 91 machine. He's got a, I guess we call it a herd of cars up there in front of him. And here comes the 44 alongside as we come through turns 1 and 2. So the 44 looking for position. That's Tyler Young down there on the bottom. Jeff Eden not willing to give it up quite yet as Tyler almost making contact with the 91 machine. But I'll tell you what, it's getting a little bit crowded here. About 7th, 8th, 9th position here as these guys start piling in here on lap 22.
Yeah, the 44 of Young working under the 91 of Eden once again. Eden with that big run off of turn number 2 last time, but Young able to put it back underneath him there through 3 and 4, and that's going to be a good enough run right there to clear him out of turn number 2. Now Eden under attack. That's the 00 Stephen Maddox, a regular in the Asphalt Assault Series on Thursday nights. And now the 00 working underneath the 91. A lot of racing, actually a couple spots behind them. Well, almost contact between Sean Casto up there battling for 3rd. The 52 of Casto, the 16 of Ritter, and the 7 of Terrell. The 52 Casto backs up, lets them race it out. And Terrell trying to use that high side to get into position number 2. And it looks like he's going to have the momentum to do just that. So Bobby Terrell in the running to win that championship with these nationwide cars on Thursday nights. Certainly one to look out for in this series as well. And he's up to position number 2, has his sights set on the 02 of Cretion.
A lap ago, it was a 16. It took a chunk out of the wall there. I can see it sitting on the front seat up there. 16 of Steve Ritter. So that probably set him back because he had to collect his thoughts on here a little bit. You know, you come off in turn 2 and hit the wall at speed. You know, it could throw you for a loop. So get that thing back. As we go on board with Steve Ritter, he's got the 52 on the bottom. Sean Castro looking to try to capture that position from the 16. The 16 fights hard back up here on the top through the trioval here, down the front stretch. I'll tell you what, Steve Ritter, he's no cowboy to mess with up here. He rides a stiff horse, I'll tell you.
Yeah, Steve Ritter, the pole winner tonight, showing a lot of speed. Casto, the 52, giving a lot of room there. He dive bombed the 54 of Doy Woods a couple laps ago where he thought he was given the room, and Doy was just doing a wide arc entering turn 3, and he was apologetic about that. Right there, gives Doy some room there, sort of as an apology. You know what, you're a little faster right now, I'll tuck in behind you and let you go rather than have a close call. And so Doy Woods, the 54, up to position number 4. And I tell you, the 7 of Terrell really coming close here to the 0-2. That Dollar General 0-2 leading the race right now. Brandon Cretion looking for that first victory here in the RSR Series. And Terrell, he's certainly not looking for his first victory in the RSR Series, as he's got plenty of those, including, I think, 1 in this Midnight Thunder out of the 3 races that we've run. The 7 car underneath the 0-2, a possible lead change here, looking to get that run through 1 and 2, and Cretion just backs off and tucks in right behind that 7 car. Saw him coming and got back in line.
I got a funny feeling that's that 2-tire deal after the last pit stop from the 0-2 machine. So Crichton just kind of backing off here, going to let Bobby Terrell have it. But I tell you, Steve Ritter in a 16 machine, he's coming too. He's tucked up under the bumper of the 0-2 machine for now. But, you know, going back here, some of the guys we haven't been talking about, Zach Messner back here in the number 92 machine. Messmer, apologize for that. 13th position back here, just kind of riding it out. Nathan Bowers, he's about a little more than a 10th off of Messner up here. So I'm not sure what's going on. We got a caution, second caution of the night here at Charlotte.
Yeah, looking at, I believe, the incidents for the 6 of Chad Coleman, bit of an embarrassing spin for him. He's driving around with a really damaged car and makes these things hard to control. As he was coming through one of the dog legs, he caught the grass and it just spun him right around. John Klickner getting collected. I'm sorry, that wasn't John Klickner, that was Scott Simley, also damaged in the first wreck, getting a piece of that as well.
And, you know, I thought I read in the notes that I got from RSR today, I thought these guys were given 1 free reset. So maybe it's a little bit too early for Coleman to have, you know, taken advantage of that. But he was certainly way off the pace here tonight. Chad Coleman usually does a pretty good job of, you know, muscling one of these cars around the track. But Coleman, with obvious damage now.
Yeah, that damage certainly was holding him back, as most everybody coming down pit road, as we'll have to see. I think we'll see a few more 2-tire stops this time than the first pit stop sequence. But Bobby Terrell leading him down the 16 of Ritter alongside the 0-2 as they pull up into their stalls, and pretty much everyone coming down pit road.
And down pit road they go, watching the 8 machine. That's Chad Cole. Now Chad is also one of the race officials here on Friday night at Midnight Thunder. It's going to be a 4-tire change for the 8 machine, and we hear that the number 7 of Bobby Terrell takes 2 right sides only for the number 7 here at Charlotte. So with that, let's go ahead and take our first commercial break. You're watching live ETV Live Cowboy. It's the only choice. Don't wander off. We'll be right back.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travis, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing. InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And we are back live here at Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Real Sim Racing Midnight Thunder here with 75 lapper here tonight. Nice, kind of a warm night, about 78 degrees. Relative humidity about 55 degrees, 2-mile-an-hour wind out of the north. So it's a pretty good racing night for these guys. Bobby Terrell up in front. Gee, go figure. Stephen Maddox will be starting in second. Sean Castro, Steve Ritter, Brandon Creation, these cowboys still hanging up here in the front row. But Terrell's going to pick up his first green flag of the night here as soon as the pace car pulls off of pit road. Now, Bobby Terrell is kind of a thinker when it comes to these restarts. He's got a plan, and it just depends on which one he pulls out of the hat. A little bit slow, leading him to the green. This is his MO here, Cowboy. You never know what this guy's going to do as he powers it up and going down the straightaway here. Of course, 2x2 in behind, and the 52 here on the bottom with the 00 of Maddox up on top. Ritter still looking to get out there in front and duke it out with Bobby Terrell. I'll tell you what, off of turn 2, down the backstretch we go.
Yeah, the 00 Stephen Maddox, the only other car aside from Terrell to take 2 tires on that pit stop. 2 tires working better for that 7 car than the 00 right now as the 7 of Terrell out front. Steve Ritter getting held up on that start with his 4 tires. Now the 16 of Ritter up to position number 4 as more and more cars work underneath Stephen Maddox. The 54 of Woods up to 5th position with that 54, and he should be a factor in here before the end of this race. Now remember, we're only on lap 35, but when we come to the stripe, there will only be 40 laps to go. Much reminiscent of the open races in these Sierra days. Only 40 laps. That's pretty much a shootout. But right now, Terrell in control here in that 7 car. But Sean Castro, the 52, been aggressive much of the night, looking to use that aggression and put his 52 speed energy car to the lead. But right now, Brandon Creation, the 02, with 4 tires this time, looking really racy here, side by side for second.
You bet. I've been watching the 30 car back here, about the 8th position back here. This is Dalton, England. I tell you what, he'd been working over that 44, trying to figure out how to get around Tyler Young up here. Maddox and the 00 kind of holding up things too, kind of keeping that 30 machine kind of in check back here. But the 30 machine trying to find a way around these 2 guys as the 00 and the 44. They're going after each other, just putting a block on one another here. So I don't know. These guys are. I don't know what's going on with these 2 guys. The 44 and the 00. Let's keep an eye on those guys.
Yeah, the 44 Tyler got 4 tires, the 00 2 tires. So what happened there was Tyler was working, and eventually the 00. I'm able to get by the 00. Sorry, I was a little distracted there for a moment. But when Young completed that pass, he was set up for a crossover. Wasn't too happy about that. Now they find themselves side by side again. That draft just keeping the 00 there. A little contact down the backstretch as they enter turn 3. The 44 tries to run the 00 Maddox high enough to use to his advantage to get that good run off of 4, which he does. Now Dalton England working underneath the 00 at this point. I would say Stephen Maddox came into the pits running 9th. Took 2 tires to give himself the track position, but it hasn't worked out for him yet.
I tell you, at the 44 and the 00, no love lost there, but still watching Dalton England, number 30 machine, 7th position back here, Cowboy. I tell you what, and a little bit of contact here, back here from the 8 machine. That's Chad Cole on the bottom of the 30 here. That pushed the 30 up to the top side. Still a lot of horsepower left in that 30 machine as he comes rolling off turn 4, down the front stretch. The 8 car, that's Chad Cole down here on the bottom. And I'll tell you what, things are starting to heat up here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 40 laps in the books. Midnight Thunder here with real sim racing. So I'll tell you what, keep glued to the TV set here tonight. These boys are going to duke it out all the way to the checkered flag, I'm sure.
Yeah, last time by on the backstretch, the 8 car Chad Cole looked 3 wide. The 30 let off to give him room. The 8 started coming up the track, drove into the 30's door. Now they're still side by side here, right behind the 44 of Tyler Young. Seems like all the action tonight is surrounding that 44 car as Cole trying to make his way through the field. Right underneath Dalton England, who hit the wall before he entered turn number 1, but not enough to mess up his arc. And got a nice run through there. They remain side by side. Meanwhile, the leaders up front are single file. However, Brandon Cretion was able to get the lead just moments ago as using the 4 tires to his advantage. 2 tires, Bobby Terrell fades back to 2nd, but using that draft to hang with him. But still side by side here for the 8th position, or 7th position rather, Chad Cole and Dalton England really fighting it out.
You bet. And let's go a little bit deeper in the field here. Let's go around 17th position, the 78 of Keith Brooks Jr. Now, Keith, or actually in 14th position, apologize to our camera operator, Laura Lawson pushing the buttons for us here tonight. But Keith started in 17th in that 78 machine as we go 3 wide somewhere on the track.
A lot of action there. That's the midnight colors. That 77 of Randall Watkins gave those colors a great run last night in the Asphalt Assault Series at Talladega. Right now, dicing it up mid-pack here with I see Kevin Manning and Keith Brooks Jr., the 53 of Jason Pick, who we have not mentioned. And midnight right now getting really racy. Keith Brooks goes way high through 3 and 4. Randall Watkins decides, you know what, I should not put this in the middle, go 3 wide, backs out wisely. Just a lot of dicing. Dennis Mickelson in the 41 becomes a part of this race as he was involved in one of the earlier cautions, sustaining a lot of damage. However, racy enough to be a part of this pack right here.
78 still having problems. Keith Brooks Jr. into the wall coming off turns 1 and 2 up here. And then trying to get it back, or gave up a couple of positions. But to Keith Brooks Jr. number 78, looks like he's having some real difficult time here tonight. Go ahead, Eric. Eric, what do you got, bud?
It looks like the 30 car, Dalton got into the wall a little bit there coming off of 4 and opened the door for that 00 car to get by him.
Stephen Maddox in a 00. I tell you what, the 44 to 30 and the 00. These guys, I mean, it's been like the OK Corral here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for all 3 of these cowboys. But keep an eye on that number 30 machine. He's been known to put that car of his up to the front, kind of sneak up there on you. And I give you a little secret. The young man driving that car here tonight, he's 13 years old. So I'll tell you what, he's giving it his best shot here with these guys here. But Brandon Cretion still out front, actually back out in front. Bobby Terrell gave up that position a while back. Number 7 machine staying right with the 02 here. But Sean Castro showing his stuff here in the 52 machine, running in 3rd. Joey Woods back here in the 54. He's running in 4th position. Steve Ritter still looking for a way to get back up in the front. He's running in a 16 machine in 5th position here, about 7, almost 8/10 off of Cretion up here in the front.
Yeah, pretty much a 5-car breakaway as we have Cretion in the lead, Terrell right on him. And then Sean Castro doing a good job in 3rd. Sean Castro actually qualified in the middle of the pack, qualified 19th, made his way into the top 5. And it's been one of the faster cars this evening. Then we've got Doy Woods just hanging there about 6/10 off, and if I know Doy Woods, I think he's playing it pretty conservatively right now. I think he's saving that right front tire. The half fuel load, these cars really like to understeer. And so Steve Ritter, I think, looks a little bit tight out there right now as he's losing touch with these guys in front of him. But Doy Woods, using the draft to his advantage, going pretty easy on the right front tire, realizes, you know what, we've got close to 30 laps to go. And that 54 car has been a staple of the top 5 all race long. But the battle's on for the lead. Bobby Terrell just doing everything he can to get up on that 02 car, as the disadvantage that he had with the right side only tires should have evened out for the most part as we've worked about 15-20 laps into this run.
Watching the 8 car back here, guys, that's Chad Cole. Now, usually, this is unusual for him. You would never find him this far back this late in the race. Of course, Cole started back in 29th position. In fact, he didn't even qualify. We've got 30 car going around.
Yeah, it looks like the 44 round and the 30 off of turn number 4. That was the battle for 7th position. And what happened right there, we'll get the replay for you in just a moment. But the 44 of Tyler Young gets really tight coming out of turn number 4. The 30 of Dalton England tries to take advantage of that and does not lift and simply drives right into the 44, trying to carry that momentum, getting tight himself. So that's a situation where it's avoidable, but you're trying to get all that you can. Sends the 44 round and the 30. John Klickner, an innocent victim in all this as well, as he gets tagged by the 44 as he comes up the track. And the 53 of Jason Pick, who was running in the 14th position, comes in and tags Dalton England as he went around. So about a 4-car wreck here, triggered from 7th.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we were just talking about Dalton, and maybe that's the ETV jinx, but the young man, 13 years old, he can wheel a car with the best of them, giving it his best shot here tonight, unfortunately. Now, he's been duking it out with the 44 car, the 3 of these guys, the 44, the 00, and the 30 machine. No love lost between any of the 3 of these guys here all night long, so I'm sure there'll probably be some words after this one here. But working, I believe, the 3rd caution of the night here at Charlotte. As we've got, let's go to Eric Crossan on pit road.
Yeah, cars are slowing down. As they're slowing down and pulling the pits, looked like the 52 car got into the back of the 7 and bent up his left rear a little bit. Don't look like he got into the wheels at all, but definitely jacked that spoiler up in the air.
Yeah, what that's about right there is a lot of times when these guys come to pit road, they try to get an advantage on their competitors by gassing it up, getting on the brakes real quick just to make pit road speed. And so it's a game of anticipating how your competitors around you approach that. And as the 7 and the 52 gassed it up, brought it back down to the pit road speed, trying to keep up with the 02 of Cretion doing that. Just the 52 just gets into the back of him during a checkup. Now, this is going to affect Sean Casto more than it's going to affect Bobby Terrell, because Casto sustained some front-end damage. Meanwhile, Terrell's damage all in the rear, so that might slow him down going down these straightaways, and certainly could be a factor in the fight for this lead. But I think the 52 has a little more to worry about than the 7 right now.
Watching the 7 machine down there, pit crew able to pull a lot of that sheet metal out, but you know what? Most of that damage was right on the back bumper of that machine, so out of the way of really any kind of aerodynamic instability. So as long as that spoiler sticks straight up in the air, the back surface, the very back end surface of the car really doesn't have that big of an effect, but you certainly want to keep the front nose clean for sure, as the the aerodynamic. Okay, spit it out, cowboy. Dynamics do have an effect coming over the front of that car and up over the top of the hood. But Distorted One finally shows up here in the house. Distorted One, I don't even know if he's even got his mic on or not, but Distorted One, this is Eddie Walczyk.
We're here. I'm pretty sure we got the mic figured out, and I bought a brand new mic and everything, and you think I could get a piece that worked.
Eddie Walczyk, we were going around today. I was looking for commentators for the race tonight. Eddie said, "Hey, I'll do it with you." And I thought, "Oh boy, here we go." And then he, I don't know, 6 or 7, 8, 9 emails later. I don't know. He was at a poker game here tonight, so I kind of question, how did you do in the poker game?
Actually, Jennifer and I did very well. We come out first and second, and we took all the money away.
Wait. What do you mean, you, Jennifer and I? What, does she stand over the rest of the guys around the table and kind of give you little signals here and there?
Oh no, she's a card shark, man. She's a hell of a player, actually.
I've
bless her heart.
personally played with her before, and that girl is no stranger to a card table. She knows what's going on.
Outstanding.
We have a rule around our poker. We have a rule around this poker league. We've been together for, this league's been together for like 8 years. And if Jennifer's in a hand, I'm out, because she's got good cards. And then the off time that she doesn't have good cards, you don't know anyway. So she beats you with junk, and she beats you with good cards.
Well, all the money winds up in her purse at the end of the night anyway, right?
That's right, and then she puts it in Daddy's bank account.
Daddy's bank account. All right, lights are off on the pace car. Here's what the front row looks like. Steve Ritter, the number 16 machine. Oops, wrong tab. Brandon Creation out in front, and the 02 machine, the 54 of Doy Woods on the front row up here. Sean Castro, Chad Cole finally making his appearance in the top 5. A little unusual for him to be showing up this late in the game. Stephen Maddox in 5th, a 00. Remember him and the 30 and the 44 machine having a little bit of tussle here a few laps to go. But with 54 laps in the books, Harrison, we are on the short side of things here tonight. The lights are off on the pace car, and these boys are buckling in and getting ready to pick up the green flag one more time.
Yeah, this time around, be 21 laps to go, and only 20 cars left on the lead lap out of the 32 that started. Brandon Creation really been in control most of this race. One of the things to mention, as Bobby Terrell had that contact entering pit road, actually looking back, everyone will be on 4 tires here when they take the green flag. Creation on 4, Doy Woods on 4. But Bobby Terrell was caught speeding on pit road with that contact, so that's why he's running in the back, took care of the damage. But here goes Creation, left right on the pace car, jumps out to a big lead. Doy Woods able to keep his 54 machine in second. Battles on for third as Sean Casto and Chad Cole race it out for that position.
And I think one of the reasons why it took Chad Cole a long time to get up here from the back of the pack is Chad Cole is one of your admins. They have live admins here. He just happened to be doing it from behind the wheel here tonight at Charlotte Motorspeedway. So that's why I say it was a little bit unusual to see Chad Cole spend that much time getting to the front. Usually he's up there within 10-15 laps, but Chad Cole certainly working over trying to get a good finish here tonight. But I'll tell you what, Cowboy, with 55 laps in the books, 20 to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, things are starting to heat up. About 9th position, the 15 machine, that's Doug Manning back here. Now here we go again. We got this crowd of cars, a herd of cars out in front, the 91 up here on the inside, and it looks like the 66, that's Brian Harvey, who's having a good night in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series here tonight. He's up on the outside here, and things are just kind of get bottled up here in front of the 15. That's Doug Manning. And the 77, Jay Randall Watkins, looking to try to put something together and get around all these guys too. So I'll tell you what, things are heating up here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, that's 77. That's Midnight sneaking up on him, looking low right now for 9th. And the thing about Chad Cole, too, is he actually did not qualify for this race. Chad's usually a guy who qualifies for this race, started in the back, and had to come from 29th, so that's a good reason right there why it took him 50 laps. But when you think about it, 50 laps to go from 29th to 4th, still impressive. The caution is out on the track somewhere.
Looking for it now as we try to cycle around, and it looks like the 65 machine here is, and the 78, Keith Brooks Jr. is involved. And it looks like they come together off of turn 4. Looks like the 78 might have got a piece of that safer barrier. Taking another look, looks like he just misses the wall, but might have overcorrected here a little bit. And looks like the 65 Ted Williams Jr. gets into it. Let's back it up here a little bit further. But Harrison, what do you see?
Yeah, that's right in front of Bobby Terrell that accident broke out. But what happened there was Keith Brooks Jr. running really high on the track. He's trying to give enough room to the cars down low, but unfortunately, a lot of times when you're conservative, that can actually bring out a wreck just the same. You don't want to be too conservative. That's what happened right here. He had a lot of wheel in that car coming out of turn number 4, and at that point, it just unwinds on exit, and his car darted to the left down into the 65 of Ed Williams Jr. So Ed Williams said head on into the wall. and a tough break for those guys who were battling for the 13th position. Bobby Terrell does a good job of avoiding it, as well as a few guys behind them.
Yeah, that safer barrier sticks out a little further on the track coming off the turns, and it kind of throws you for a loop sometimes. You see that. It's a little deceiving, and I think the 78 trying to hang on to his car up there on the top side just looks like he almost overcorrected just a little tiny bit, and of course that started everything happening. But, tough night at Charlotte for some, better night for others.
Yeah, absolutely. And what this does is it gives a lot of these guys in the top 5 another chance to make a go at it. Brandon Cretion, though, in charge of these restarts, gives him the chance to jump out and catch these guys off guard. Doy Woods in the 54, don't believe he has led any laps this evening, running as high as he has all race, but he's been in the top 5 all race. And I know he wants to win here tonight, representing his team. And so he's looking forward to getting another chance at it. When they go green, we're going to have just about 12, 13 laps to go, so this thing is really winding down.
You bet. Eric, what do you got, bud? Jump in.
Yeah, I just want to say about the caution there. There's a strange elevation change on the outside when you're coming off of 4 there, and it just lightens up the rear end of that car just enough. And when you're riding it hard, sometimes that's tough to catch, and like you said, he just bounced out of that outside wall and came back down and got into him.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, with 60 laps in the book, there are 15 to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is Midnight Thunder with Real Sim Racing. And if you haven't seen them yet, season's starting to wind down. Full Throttle Cup Series on Monday night, live right here on ETVLIVE. Thursday night is the Asphalt Assault Series. Both of those races going to go all the way to the checker flag at Homestead Miami Speedway. CJ Lavere pretty much out of the running with the Asphalt Assault Series. But I'll tell you what, Bobby Terrell and Stefan Marinac, they will. It'll be a 3-wing boxing or a 3-bell boxing match all the way to Homestead for sure. And of course, Chad Cole and gosh, the name just flew away there, Harrison.
You're too busy thinking of popcorn at the 3-ring circus, I think.
Popcorn. I'll tell you what. Just Midnight Thunder. We're here with Asphalt with real sim racing. See what you're doing to me now. Eddie shows up and the place just goes to hell.
Well, I thought it was BYOB, so I showed up prepared.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what. We do have some fun up here in the booth, but let's go back to the Full Throttle Cup. Harrison, it's Chad Cole and who else?
Dwayne Vincent. They have a heck of a points battle.
Yeah, Dwayne Vincent. And I'll tell you, since even before the chase started, long before, probably midway through the season, it really started getting heated up. And, Dwayne Vincent, Chad Cole, it will go all the way to the checkered flag at Homestead Miami Speedway for sure. You do not want to miss those races on Monday nights, and of course the ones on Thursday nights. But some of the best competitive racing, league style, that you ever want to get involved in is right here with Real Sim Racing. And you can check these guys out at realsimracing.com. Get signed up over there. Tell them the Cowboy sent you over there, and talk to John Abbott to get you going here, and get some pretty good racing in here with these guys. But I'll tell you what, right now, out in front, Brandon Cretion, take another sip of that Jack Daniels there, Cowboy. We're on board with the 52 when we go back to green, but Doy Woods sharing that front row with Brandon Cretion, who has pretty much led most of the laps here tonight. John Castro in the 52 machine back here on the bottom, on the inside. Now he's got the 16 of Ritter on the outside, and you know what Ritter's capable of late in these races. So keep your eyes peeled on that number 16 machine on the outside. He's not going to let the rest of these guys get too far out in front of him. But we'll see what Cretion's got for these boys when he picks up the green flag.
Yeah, Cretion, not a regular competitor here in RSR, and he has come here tonight to simply win on ETV in front of his friends and teammates. Steve Ritter, I believe he won at the Full Throttle Cup Series race at Kansas just a few short weeks ago, and he's just been a relentless competitor here on these 1.5 milers really all year long. He's got 3 wins in the Full Throttle Cup Series, looking to add another win to his tally here in the Midnight Thunder Series. But working through 3 and 4, we're doubled up, and we've got our competitors raring at the bit. We're going to take the green with 13 laps to go. So 13 laps for Brandon Cretion, but it's going to be hard for him to pull away. This draft is going to pull these guys to him as the pace car is in.
Right along with the number 52 Sean Castro as Brandon Creason picks up the green flag here a little bit slow. He's backing him up here. And I'll tell you what, Cowboy, a little bit of strategy working on that get-go there. Steve Ritter part of that. He has to jump off the throttle and then jump back in. He's going to let the 8 of Chad Cole get alongside and take the position away from him here off of turn 2. Down the backstretch we go, Cowboy. 63 laps in the books. And I'll tell you what, it's nothing but the checkered flag looking at these guys for now.
Looking at the 54 dives low entering turn number 3 of the 02 of Creation. The caution is out though. Bobby Terrell's heavily damaged and Stephen Maddox and the double zeros around, but on that restart, a lot of games up front. Doy Woods was looking to go, thinking that Brandon would go pretty early, and Brandon started holding those guys up, caused a lot of checkups, a lot of contact, and Doy Woods trying to get aggressive to get that lead. But as we about to look here at the replay of what happened, the wreck right there centered around the double zero of Stephen Maddox. A lot of hard racing there for the 6th position. What happened there was simply contacts from the 91 tried to put it into a hole that wasn't quite there.
Yeah, you bet. Down here on the bottom of the turn, the double zero up there on the top, the 91, just a little bit too much throttle in the middle of the turn here. Of course, I think the double zero drifted down just a little bit, but they get tangled up, and of course the rest is history, as they say. Stephen Maddox in that double zero car taking a pretty good hit into the outside wall, does a lot of damage to his car, but I tell you, it looks like those two are pretty much the only two involved. Actually, the 7 was involved in that as well. A lot of damage to the back end of Bobby Terrell's car. That's probably going to end his chance for any hopes of a checker flag here tonight.
Yeah, actually, Bobby Terrell.
Oh, the 41 gets into the 7 machine. We got 2 incidents happening here. Bobby Terrell trying to work his way back up from a penalty down on Pitts Road. Had to start in the back. The 41 trying to get around the 90 up there on the top, trying to take it 3 wide, gets into the 7 machine. The 7 piles into the inside wall, goes upside down, and we call that an e-ticket ride.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Bobby Terrell. Comes into this race with a shot at taking the points lead, and certainly with a shot at the points lead in our other nationwide series here in the RSR league. But Bobby Terrell's race is over. He has brought his car behind the wall. Just too much damage after that restart wreck with contact from the 41.
Yeah, looks like I mean they're pretty well stacked up back here. The 90 occupying a couple of lanes up here, but the 41 trying to get around the 90 up there, and of course the 7's right there on the bottom. And you know what? They just come together, and well, you know what happened.
Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes, and what it does is it gives these guys another chance to have one of those crazy restarts. So we're going to be going green within 10 to go, and remember, when we get within 5 to go, a caution flag within 5 will end the race. And so we're moving here towards our conclusion to this 75 lapper at Charlotte. Brandon Creation still in control, but these guys sort of picking up on how he's playing with these restarts and trying to use that to their advantage. So Doy Woods, we saw him really aggressive on the last restart, trying to get that lead, and surely going to be more of the same here in about 2 laps when we go back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if we got time, let's go ahead and step away. Let's take another commercial break, probably the last one for the night. You're watching live, ETV Live. We're at Charlotte Motorspeedway with Real Sim Racing Midnight Thunder, so don't wander off, Cowboy. We'll be right back. Roger.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV Live, sports radio, even all and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
And welcome back to the RSR Midnight Thunder Series. We're doubled up getting ready for this restart. Just coming back from the side-by-side commercial break. Bobby Terrell has thrown in his scorecard and is done for the evening after that wreck on the previous restart. Here, Brandon Creation has been in control for a lot of this night. Been a few other leaders here, including that Bobby Terrell 7 machine that just went behind the wall. But looking at this restart, we're going to be taking the green with, I believe, 8 laps to go. And Doy Woods, I almost said Derek Wood there. Doy Woods in the 54 looking to make another hard charge, just like the previous restart.
All right, I guess we are side by side with the 91 split screen. I'll tell you what, getting ready to end this thing here tonight as Brandon Creation picks up the green flag. We're back at it again here. Doy Woods in second. Chad Cole looking for a good finish here tonight. Sean Castro in the 52 machine on the bottom of the 8 car. I'll tell you what, with 68 laps in the books, this thing's starting to heat up pretty good. We're back up in front with the 54, giving the bumper to the 02 machine here down the backstretch. Looks like the 54 looking to get some horsepower up off of turn 4 here, coming off the turn, heading down the front stretch, side by side with the 02, trying to get position on him. Doesn't look like it's going to happen as things start to heat up here at Charlotte.
Yeah, coming through 1 and 2, it might be hard to use that high line to his advantage, and it is. As the 02 Brandon Creation able to clear Doy coming through, we're on the backstretch here. Next time by is going to be 6 laps to go. Doy making a charge on the high side, not able to make it work. Certainly wants to get that nose low, but the 02 is not going to give up the bottom easily. Probably going to get a little bit defensive. But the race is on here for the lead, and joining this battle, Chad Cole is trying to make a run at them. But right now, single file as these guys try to set up a pass to put themselves in position to win. Creation, you see entering turn 1 with a bit of a wider arc to carry speed, but Doy Woods hanging right with him.
Staying right with him, and I'll tell you what, the 16 of Steve Ritter just can't find the horsepower as he's being pressured by the 91. That's Jeff Eden back here as Ritter's up on the top side. The 91 going to make use of that bottom lane. And I'll tell you what, the horsepower in that 91 is going to prevail. The 16 of Ritter just doesn't seem to be able to put it together here at Charlotte tonight. I'll tell you what, out in front, looks like Doy Woods kind of backing off a little bit, about almost a 2/10 off of the 02 of Brandon Creation up here. But Chad Cole, I tell you what, Chad Cole looking for a way around Doy Woods, that 54 machine. Woods got the top side covered here. 8's going to go into the turn. Looking on the bottom here as they all three come down to the apron line. But I tell you, Brandon Creation's got his mark set here, Cowboy, and he is running them perfectly as he begins to pull away from the 54 and the 8.
Yeah, a lot of racing towards the back of the pack, but the real race is heating up for the win here. Chad Cole really throwing down a hard charge here, looking for a way underneath the 54 of Doy Woods. Cole gets the nose going down the backstretch, and entering turn 3, Doy gives him the lane, saying, you know what, you go for it. And Cole now has his sights set on the 02 of Creation, and Chad wants this race to remain green to give him a shot, because as they cross the line here, only 3 laps to go. Creation's got about an 8-car length lead.
I'll tell you what, Doy Woods staying right with the 8 machine and Chad Cole up here, and I'm not quite sure. I'm hearing that the caution is out, and the 92 involved. I see the 92 Zach Messner going across the grass here. I don't know that that's what brought the caution out, but he takes a pretty good hit off the wall off of turn 4 here. And winds up going through the grass, but I'm not quite sure if that's what brought the caution out or not.
Yeah, they threw the caution flag as the 05 of Jeff Nichols came up on that spin in the as they crossed the start-finish line. So disappointing that we don't get the green flag finish as wreck for the 92 just got the wall off of turn 4 while running in the 16th. But what this does is it gives Brandon Creation the victory as long as his car remains under power. He's able to get to the checkered flag a lap and a half from now. So this time by, as they cross the stripe, is going to be the white flag actually. And all he needs to do is make another lap and a half, bring home that checkered flag.
And it is game over. Unofficial standings put Creation out in front of Chad Cole. Doy Woods in 54 in third, Castro in fourth. Top 5 is going to be Steve Ritter. Ritter just couldn't find the horsepower late in the game to put anything together for a trophy here tonight at Charlotte Speedway. But I tell you what, still a contender no matter where you go in that 16 machine. But tough night here for some, better night for others at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And unofficially, Brandon Cretion will be picking up the trophy here tonight.
Yeah, that Dollar General car started the race from the front row, but the outside of the front row, but led the most laps, was able to take home the victory as long as should be able to take home the victory unless unforeseen complications. But also second place Chad Cole, that 8 car started 29, so what a drive for him to gain 28 spots in the running order to be able to get up to the second position, or 27 spots that he gained rather. My third grade math a little bit off right there. But Doy Woods made some hard charges towards the end. Will have to settle for third position, but a good run nonetheless, as you pointed out. Sean Casto, I tell you what, his car looks like he just came out of a race in Martinsville. All kinds of contact throughout the race for that 52. Able to bring home a top 5, though.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, disappointments for tonight. They're going to start out with John Abbott in a 10 machine. Hopeful here tonight in the Midnight Thunder, but a solid performer with the full throttle Cup Series on Monday night. CJ LeBlair was another one that went out early. Red McBride, he's one of those drivers you don't hear from. Very quietly works himself up to the front, and then suddenly, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. There he is, putting the pressure on your bumper. But surprisingly, these guys didn't finish the race here tonight. And of course, Bobby Terrell with a tough night as well on the hauler and headed for the barn here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. But that's going to make it official. Brandon Cretion will pick up the trophy here from Charlotte Motor Speedway here tonight with Chad Cole with a solid performance out of that 8 team here tonight after starting in the back of the pack. And Chad Cole has double duty here tonight, guys. He's actually one of the race officials here with the Midnight Thunder Series with Real Sim Racing. So those little swervy moves you see his car make every now and again, it's probably him with his right hand punching something up on the keyboard to clear a flag or whatever for these guys. But top performance out of that 8 team tonight.
Yeah, really good showing. Got there a little bit too late to make a run at that victory. Brandon Cretion crossing the stripe, as you mentioned, will take home the win tonight. And we're going to speak with all 3 of those drivers shortly, or I think we'll speak with the top 3 momentarily. But also some good runs. Doug Manning in the 15, able to come home in 7th. Jeff Eden in the 91 ran top 10 all night, was able to take home 6th. And the 41 Dennis Mickelson came home 9th. Midnight, the 77 Miller Genuine Draft car came home in 9th rather. And Peter Stubbins in the 90, able to grab a top 10, so a nice run for him.
Brandon Cretion works himself off turn 4 here, approaches the start finish line in celebration of the win tonight, and we'll give him a few minutes to burn off what's left on the rubber of those tires on that number 02 machine of his here tonight. And I'll tell you what, 75 lapper here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, more of a shootout style race. These guys were loaded up with about 50% fuel, so we would have seen some green flag pit stops. They would have occurred about every 24 laps here tonight, but we had a few cautions in between. But with that, we're going to go ahead and step away for a break. When we come back, post-race show from Charlotte Motor Speedway. So like the cowboy always says, don't wander off. We'll be right back. And we are back live here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the post-race activities here. And I'll tell you what, I'm standing down here in Victory Lane with our winner here tonight. That's Brandon Creation in that number 02 machine. I'll tell you what, Cowboy, what a race here tonight. 75-lap shootout style type deal here with 50% fuel. What was your plan for the night here?
Basically, it was just go out there and drive the car like hell. The setup was absolutely amazing, and I knew I was going to be somewhat fast because I'm just really good in the B car, and probably one of the best, I think. Yeah, and I didn't really have to worry about pit strategy too much, as I kind of knew there was going to be a lot of cautions out there, and I just got to thank my team for a lot of help tonight. Kyle Brummett and Jared Fontaine, as they told me what to do all night long.
And I'll tell you what, starting out up in front, I mean, you were duking it out with the likes of C.J. Levert, Bobby Terrell up there for a little while. But you seem to have found your marks pretty early as we watched our pole sitter in the 16 sort of start drifting back a little bit. Was that the case for you tonight? Did you just find your marks that early and that gave you the advantage?
Yeah, pretty much. This B car, it relies on draft. As long as you're in the draft, you're gonna be able to keep up. And I have a really good line here at Charlotte, and I knew if I can just keep up with them, maybe they're gonna burn their tires off a little bit more than me, and I was just gonna take the lead and try to pull away the best so I can.
And strategy pays off for the 02 team tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Who makes it happen for you there, Cowboy?
I gotta thank RSR. This league is absolutely amazing, and I try my best to come run here when I can. The drivers are top notch, and the league admins know what they're doing. It makes it really fun to race at. And I gotta thank my team, Redline Motorsports, Kyle Brummett, Jared Fontaine, Jared Boris, and all those guys over there. It was really fun. They make it really easy for me to race.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations on the win here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Midnight Thunder here on a Friday night. I'm going to throw it on down pit road. I believe Harrison Weidlitz is caught up with another dude down there. I know him. That's Chad Cole.
Yeah, Chad Cole, currently leading the Full Throttle Cup Series points, came in here tonight. Midnight Thunder started 29th, drove all the way up to 2nd. And so, Chad, working your way through the field, you must have seen some interesting things, having to pass a lot of cars.
Yeah, I had to avoid the big one there early on. Yeah, I think I missed the first race, and the second one I got wrecked out of the schedule, so I'm kind of out of the points. So I just like to start in the back, kind of race with everybody, get the feel of everyone else that races, and actually it's kind of fun coming from the back.
Yeah, definitely, and this is actually going to bump you up to about 5th or 6th in the points, even though you've missed a race here. Out of the 4 races we've run, you've run 3 out of the 4. Are you going to be looking to run the final 4, try to see what you can do in the points?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I won a couple Midnight Thunder championships earlier, and but guys are going to be tough. I think Chad Coleman was leading the points, and I know he wrecked tonight, so I think that'll bunch it up a little bit more. And Bobby Terrell, too, he had struggles.
Yeah, and at the closing laps of this one, is there something that you picked up on where you thought you could take advantage, possibly get that lead from the 02 Creation, or just a little too late, or did you think you pretty much didn't have anything for the win?
It's really hard to tell. I caught Doy Woods and Sean Casto kind of late, and caught them pretty much just at the right moment, actually, and they both let me go pretty easily. I was kind of surprised about that. I thought I was going to get a hard race out of both of them. But it's just kind of hard to tell if I would have had anything for Brandon, because it just get those short sprints at the end there. Unfortunately, caution kind of came out right on top of each other at the end.
Yeah, well, a quick 75 lapper here at Charlotte. Impressive to start all the way in the back, make your way up to 2nd. And so who makes it happen for you? Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, on behalf of Dave Lanza, my fellow admin for Friday nights, who couldn't be here tonight, he had to work. I need to thank John Abbott for getting together with you guys at ETV Live and getting this broadcast is kind of making history tonight. I don't believe this series has ever been broadcasted before. That's cool. So that's cool to have you guys come out tonight. And hippiespaintshop.com. He's my sponsor, and Axo Sanitation as well with Frank Coons.
That's our second place finisher tonight, Shag Cole, and send it up to JD Webb.
We are unable to locate the third place finisher tonight, but it was Doy Woods. I believe that's his hauler I see heading out the gate. But I'll tell you what, Cowboys, the 54 machine turning out a rock-solid performance here tonight, taking home a third-place trophy from Charlotte Motorspeedway. This is the Midnight Thunder, and it was a thunderous night in Charlotte. And I'll tell you what, Harrison, we had a house full up here tonight with Eddie Walzik and Eric Crossan. Eric Crossan, rookie commentator, just starting out with ETV Live here, stuck him in the booth and turned the mics on and tell him, "Here we go, Cowboy, just go after it." But I'll tell you what, a heck of a race, Eric.
Yeah, it was great racing all the way around. A lot of action. Kind of reminiscent of some Saturday short track races I've seen over the years. These guys are great, and the series that they put on here is obviously top notch. The racing action was good, and just a fun night. I'm happy to be here. This is pretty cool.
You bet. I'll tell you what, Eddie Walzik along for the ride. Now, Eddie pilots a short track late model ride. Kind of a treat to come out to these big tracks here tonight, isn't it, Eddie?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, we talk smack about NASCAR Monday through Friday when it comes to the weekends where the short track. But we're still NASCAR fans, and if it's got a couple wheels and a steering wheel, and we can go around in circles and race, we're fans of it. And these guys put on a hell of a show. I don't think Mr. Crossan knows what to do with his hands right now, but he's over there frothing at the mouth. He's pretty excited to get back in the booth here in the next broadcast. So I'm excited for him, and these guys did a hell of a job. I enjoyed the race.
We will certainly put them to work. And Harrison, I tell you what, Cowboy, I know you've been feeling ill here for the last couple of weeks. I appreciate hanging out in the booth and helping me call this race here tonight. But a lot of drivers that we thought we were going to see up in front didn't finish the race at all. So it was just one of those nights.
Yeah, certainly that early wreck really changed the complexion of the race for probably 5 of the guys running in the top 10. But an interesting roster of drivers here running tonight, the Midnight Thunder Series, late night atmosphere for sure. And the race we didn't see those green flag pit stops, but we did see some pretty decent runs. And so it allowed these guys to stretch their legs a little bit and come through the field. Which really was a great race to watch.
Absolutely, and I tell you, Cowboy, it doesn't stop here tomorrow night. I believe it's 9:30. We're back in the saddle again with Integrity Racing, and on Sunday night, Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series back in the saddle, and of course back with RSR Real Sim Racing here with the Full Throttle Cup Series, and they're winding down their chase. And let me tell you something: you do not want to miss the next 3 or 4 broadcasts as we work ourselves into Homestead, Miami. Dwayne Vincent, Chad Cole. I'll tell you what, you talk about the OK Corral, it's happening week after week after week here on Monday nights. And, of course, on Thursday nights with the Asphalt Assault. Tuesday night, back in the saddle again with Rewind, BS, and Back Talk. Yours truly with Eddie Walzik and crew. But Eddie, there is a special broadcast here coming up in about a week or so. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Why don't you tell us about the 2 events we've got scheduled?
Yeah, that sure is. I was hoping I can't believe I dropped the ball there and didn't get the plug in there without the help, but I do appreciate the help. This is our second annual iRacePink.com charity challenge.
That's why they call me Daddy.
We call you El Jefe. I'm Daddy. Let's get that. We got to keep that in order. We don't want to confuse the ladies. Anyway, it's our second annual iRacePink.com charity events. We've added an event this season or this year, and we're going to run on the 23rd at Thompson, a 150 lap tour mod race and a 75 lap late model race. It's the Art Wheeler Memorial race. Then on Thursday the 24th is our big Alan Binder's Beauty and Beast Charity Challenge Sprint car and the Silver Crown car at Phoenix, a straight up USAC style race. You got to qualify, run heats, B mains. We had a great turnout last year. We have over $4,000 in cash and prizes purse wise. This season we've got a bunch of sponsors. We've got a bunch of iRacing credits. We've got T-shirts from Troyer, from Beast. All the competitors get T-shirts. We've got posters. We got stickers. We've got hats. We've got our last event was the Jason Leffler Left Turn 100 Memorial. We raised over $1,000 for him. Last year we raised $2,000 for Breast Cancer Research Foundation, and we're looking to double that this year. So that's the 23rd and 24th. It's a $10 donation. You can race as many races as you can possibly race on those 2 days. It's a minimum $10 donation, and any other information you'd like, you can check out the iRacing forums or go to iracepink.com, and all of your stuff will be right there.
And you don't even have to buy a ticket to watch. So, what better than that? But that'll all be happening right here on ETV live broadcast. So tune in and don't miss that one. We're going to go ahead and close this one out for now from Charlotte Motor Speedway. This has been the ETV Live broadcast of Midnight Thunder with Real Sim Racing here tonight. And congratulations to all the winners. And we'll catch you next time on ETV Live.
Join 5,000 plus other listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.